The Battle of Vicksburg has ended. It's July 4th, 1863, and I am reporting live from Vicksburg, Mississippi. I have here with me two major generals from this battle. General Ulysses S. Grant of the Union and John Pemberton of the Confederates are here to tell you their sides of the story.
Ulysses S. Grant, and I am the leader of the Union's 75,000 men troop. It was a huge turning point in the war when I captured the city of Vicksburg. President Lincoln once said, "Vicksburg is the key. The war can never be brought to a close until the key is in our pocket." If we captured Vicksburg, then it would help in the separation of the Confederates.
My name is Lieutenant General John C. Pemberton, and I am the leader of the Confederates' 30,000 men troop. My troops and I were defending Vicksburg when Grant and his troops came and attacked the city. The city of Vicksburg sits high in the bluff along the Mississippi River.
Many civilians hid in the back of the bluff in caves to protect themselves from the bombing of the Union.
I spent a lot of time trying to maneuver the fort, then attack it. Vicksburg was surrounded by a lot of natural barriers and guns aimed at the river. I decided to build canals, dredges, and levees. If this worked, I could transport Union goods down the Mississippi. In the end, none of this worked, so I decided I had to take on Vicksburg.
I began my attacks by floating down the western banks of the Mississippi River, which ran along the side of Vicksburg. We came in on boats called ironclads. We had around 13 of these ships, and they allowed us to block southern ports. This was called the Anaconda Plan, that was put into force by Winfield Scott, who was a U.S. Army general. This plan emphasized on a blockade of the southern ports movement down the Mississippi River to cut the South into two. Once I was able to reach the shore, we began our march.
The higher terrain gave us an advantage by allowing us to be able to see the Union troops coming.
We marched all the way to Jackson, the capital, to take control over all the supplies.
When the Union troops began to take over our capital, I became very flustered and was forced to send out troops to stop them. My troops failed miserably and I was forced to retreat.
I tried to raid the city, but I failed and I had to retreat. After 2 weeks of weighted siege in the holes and the notches in the ground and blocking up all the ports for the Confederates could not eat, the Confederates finally surrendered.
After 2 weeks of the Union blocking the southern ports, my men were starving and I was forced to surrender on July 4th, 1863.
I decided to surrender on July 4th because I know my people. I know we can get better terms from them on the 4th of July than on any other day of the year. I now controlled the Mississippi River. The South no longer controlled the trade on the river, which allowed the North to freely trade along the Mississippi River. The Anaconda Plan did exactly what it was supposed to do. Union victory. The Mississippi River was very important to the Confederates, and when I surrendered, the North gained the Mississippi, which was a huge trading route. If we would have won, Britain would have recognized us as an independent country. We not only lost the battle, but we also lost many soldiers and our self-confidence.
Grant liked life in the fast lane. He was fined in Washington, D.C. for riding his horse too fast. Grant cared a lot about his appearance. He always looked sophisticated no matter where the event took place. Grant's real name was Hiram. Grant loved cigars, and later died from lung cancer. Grant hated the sight of blood. Grant later became the 18th President of the United States of America.
John C. Pemberton was born in Philadelphia and married a woman from Virginia, which influenced him to fight for the South. He chose to resign from the Army so he could be with his beloved wife, Patty. He was a Yankee. He studied to be an engineer at the University of Pennsylvania. He died in his hometown at the age of 66.